Welcome, listeners, to Snippets of Knowledge. In this episode, we're unpacking the wisdom nestled in the pages of Venture Deals by Brad Feld and Jason Mendelson. Whether you're an entrepreneur dreaming of your next big venture, or you're simply fascinated by the complex world of startup financing, you're in the right place. This book is a beacon for navigating the often turbulent waters of venture capital, and today, we'll guide you through the most crucial insights to help illuminate your path. So buckle up as we dive into the venture capital ecosystem and decode the secrets to securing that game-changing investment. Today, we're cracking open the treasure trove that is Venture Deals, a must-read for anyone venturing into the high-stakes world of startup financing. Penned by none other than Brad Feld and Jason Mendelson, this book is the beacon for entrepreneurs navigating the complex sea of venture capital. Brad and Jason aren't just experts. They're seasoned veterans in the venture capital arena, bringing decades of experience from their work at Foundry Group, a VC firm known for its savvy investments. Their insider perspectives demystify the often opaque world of funding, making Venture Deals an invaluable roadmap. Join me as we dive into their collective wisdom distilled in this comprehensive guide. Understanding venture deals is like having a seasoned mentor at your side. Priceless whether you're an entrepreneur on the hunt for capital or an investor searching for the next unicorn. So, buckle up. We've got quite the masterclass ahead of us. All right, let's dive into the heart of any venture capital deal, the term sheet. It's a non-binding document, the blueprint of the venture capital investment, laying the groundwork for the money that will hopefully propel your business to the heights of success. The term sheet details what you, as an entrepreneur, give and what you get. Understand it well, and you're equipping yourself with the know-how to navigate the complex seas of venture financing. First up, we've got the valuation. This answers the big question, what's your company worth? But it's not just about throwing around big numbers and hoping they stick. This section is split into pre-money and post-money valuations, giving you a clear picture of what your company's worth now and what it'll look like after the investment. Next are the types of shares being offered, common or preferred. Know the difference because it'll affect your control in the company and how you get paid in a sale or liquidation. Preferred shares often come with bells and whistles like liquidation preferences, which means investors get their money out first in a sale. Then there's the option pool. These are shares set aside for future employees. Aim too low, and you might not have enough to attract top talent. Too high, and you're diluting existing shares more than necessary. It's a balancing act. But the term sheet isn't just numbers and percentages. It includes investor rights too, such as voting rights, anti-dilution protections, and board composition. These determine how much sway your investors have in company decisions, something any founder needs to keep a close eye on. And let's not forget protective provisions. These are like the guardrails on your entrepreneurial highway, making sure you can't make certain decisions without investor approval, guarding their investment and your integrity. Lastly, there are clauses on exits and sales of the business. When someone wants to buy, these terms lay out who can sell their shares and when. This can be a minefield or a clear path to your next venture. It's all in how it's crafted. Every single line on that term sheet has the potential to shape your company's future. Whether you're new to this or have seen a term sheet or two before, remember, the devil is in the details. With venture capital, knowledge doesn't just unlock doors, it opens up a universe of opportunities. And that's what we're here to decode in Venture Deals. Now let's move on and see how these term sheet components translate into real-world money talk in the next segment on valuation and deal economics. Valuing a company is both an art and a science, and when you're looking to secure venture capital, getting it right can make or break the deal. Brad Feld and Jason Mendelson's Venture Deals digs deep into this topic, breaking down the mystique around company valuation. When an investor looks at your company, they aren't just looking at what you are now, but what you have the potential to be. Pre-money and post-money valuations are key concepts here. Think of pre-money valuation as the value of your company before an investment is made, and post-money valuation is, you guessed it, after the investment. This distinction is crucial because it determines how much of the company the investor gets for their money. But the valuation dance doesn't end there. Term sheets will come with economic terms that can feel like a foreign language. Let's talk about liquidation preference. This determines the payout order in a sale or liquidation. Venture capitalists often get priority over other shareholders, which means they get their money back first. It's kind of like having a VIP pass at a concert. When the show's over, you're first in line to leave. Then there's the participation right, which can be a bit more complex. This gives investors the right to get their initial investment back and then participate in the remaining proceeds along with common shareholders. And don't forget the anti-dilution protection. This is the investor's shield against future fundraisings that might lower the value of their shares. It's like an insurance policy ensuring they don't lose out if the company has to sell shares at a lower price in the future. As a founder, understanding these terms helps you see beyond the immediate cash injection and look at how the deal will affect your control and financial return in the long run. For investors, these terms ensure they protect their investment and hopefully see a good return on their money. Now, if all of this sounds daunting, remember this. It's a negotiation. Every term is up for discussion. That's why Feld and Mendelson emphasize the import of really grasping these concepts, as they will shape the economic future of your venture. Understanding and negotiating these terms strategically can lead to favorable outcomes for both founders and investors. And that, dear listeners, is the economics of venture deals explained, or at least the beginning of it. Stay tuned as we venture further into the complex dance of venture capitalism. Navigating the waters of venture capital negotiations is akin to a strategic dance, a ballet where every step, every move counts. Let's dive into some effective negotiation strategies for entrepreneurs and understand how to handle power dynamics in these high-stakes conversations based on wisdom from venture deals. Negotiation begins long before you sit at the table. The first crucial step is preparation. Know your business inside and out. You need to articulate your vision, your market potential, and your financial needs with precision. But beyond the numbers, understanding your own limits is essential. Define your walkaway terms, and don't be afraid to stick to them. Brad Feld and Jason Mendelson emphasize the idea of being fair. This is not about winning at all costs. It's about reaching a deal that benefits both sides. Yet to be fair, you must be informed. Training yourself to read term sheets carefully will equip you with the knowledge to spot something that might look benign but has real consequences, like terms affecting control of the board or liquidation preferences. Negotiation is also about relationships. You're not just pitching for money, you're inviting investors into a long-term partnership. Therefore, it's critical to invest in these relationships early. The stronger your relationship with potential investors, the more likely you are to secure favorable terms. It's a delicate balance, fostering goodwill while maintaining enough detachment to negotiate effectively. Let's not overlook the subtleties of negotiation tactics, where language and psychology play pivotal roles. Simple techniques like using silence as a tool for drawing out more information or framing your concessions as difficult decisions can tilt negotiations in your favor. But be cautious. The same tools can be used against you. Lastly, remember that although investors may seem to hold all the cards, as an entrepreneur, you bring value to the table, the opportunity for investors to be part of your company's journey. Keep this in mind, and you'll navigate through these power dynamics with a level head and the confidence that what you have is worth investing in. Armed with these insights from venture deals, you're not just going into a negotiation to survive, you're stepping in to thrive. Stay tuned as we continue to explore more about the venture capital world and how you can emerge successfully on the other side of the deal. Venture deals are intricate and packed with legalese, so it's no surprise that the role of lawyers is absolutely central to the process. Imagine having a seasoned guide when you're navigating a labyrinth. That's what a good lawyer is in the world of venture capital. Lawyers don't just dot the I's and cross the T's. They lay the groundwork for protecting your company's interests, make sure you comply with all the applicable laws, and often help you understand the nuances of your deal. Working with lawyers can be daunting, especially if you're new to the game. The best approach is to find someone specialized in venture deals because they'll be familiar with what's standard, what can be negotiated, and what potential red flags to watch out for. It's also about building trust. You want a legal counsel who understands your business goals and can communicate complex terms in a digestible manner. This trust enables you to make informed decisions without getting bogged down by the intricacies of legal jargon. Remember, every term in a contract or agreement, no matter how small it may seem, can have significant implications. Legal terms define the rights, responsibilities, and protections for all parties involved. They can determine control rights, liquidation preferences, anti-dilution provisions, and so much more. These aren't just abstract concepts. They have real-world impacts on your control over your company and your financial outcomes. That's why having a great lawyer by your side isn't just helpful, it's indispensable in venture deals. Raising capital is often seen as a necessary rite of passage for many startups, and the art of fundraising is one every entrepreneur should know. When the inevitable time comes, how you approach it can make all the difference. Let's start with timing. It's critical. Begin your search for capital before you're desperate for it. Give yourself the runway to choose investors wisely and negotiate better terms. Speaking of choosing investors, this is not a time to say yes to just anyone willing to write a check. Look for investors who bring more than money to the table. Do they have experience in your industry? Can they open doors to partnerships or offer strategic advice? Remember, an investor is a partner in your venture, and the right one can propel you forward. Now, managing the fundraising process can be daunting, but organization and clear communication will see you through. Map out your plan meticulously. This includes setting milestones, keeping detailed records, and communicating regularly with potential investors. Transparency builds trust, and even if one investor decides to pass, they may recommend someone who is a perfect fit. And one last piece of advice: never underestimate the power of a warm introduction. Networking is king in the venture capital world, so polish up your pitch, attend industry events, and get to know the key players in your sector. Make sure you're always ready to present your vision with passion and clarity. Now, our next section dives into what lies ahead once you secure the deal. Stay tuned. Closing a venture deal is just the beginning of a new chapter for entrepreneurs. Let's talk about life after the ink has dried, you've shaken hands, the investment is wired, and celebratory toasts are done. But now, an entrepreneur's focus must shift towards managing investor relationships. It's a delicate dance, keeping communication channels open and transparent while balancing investor expectations with the rigors of steering the company. Effective communication is key. Regular updates can make or break the trust investors have placed in you. They aren't just keen on the progress, they want to know the hurdles too. This transparency builds confidence and can ease subsequent funding rounds. After all, these investors are now your company's champions, and their support can be incredibly valuable, not just financially, but also strategically. And of course, growth doesn't happen in isolation. Entrepreneurs often have to gear up for further rounds of funding to fuel their growth plans. It's about being strategic, knowing when to push for expansion and when to brace, conserving resources. Each round of funding is a stepping stone towards your company's goals and must be handled with the same meticulous care you brought to your initial venture deal. And that brings us to the end of our journey through Venture Deals by Brad Feld and Jason Mendelson. From grasping the anatomy of a term sheet to mastering negotiation tactics and understanding the pivotal role of legal counsel, we've covered the gamut of what it takes to navigate the venture capital ecosystem with savvy and confidence. Whether you're an entrepreneur gearing up for your next funding round, or simply an enthusiast keen to understand the intricacies of venture capital, our hope is that the insights from this book empower you to approach your ventures with a new lens. Remember, it's not just about securing funds, it's about building relationships and strategizing for long-term success. Thank you for tuning into Snippets of Knowledge. Until next time, keep turning the pages and keep expanding your horizons. Goodbye for now.